So, there was a time I feared sleep, not because I was afraid of nightmares, but because I wasn't sure I'd wake up the next day. You'd ask why exactly was I afraid of sleep? Well, my body turned on me and my mind soon after. And yet somehow, after all that thunder and chaos in my skull, came the voice you're hearing today. Today I will tell you a brief story about two people. One is standing before you today, and the other is the reason I'm able to. On July 18, 2018, around 6 a.m., I was dressed up for school waiting for my little sister when I felt a very strange buzz in my body. It felt like electricity ripping through my body. So I went to my parents' room and I told my mom, "Mom, I'm not feeling so well." And that's all I remember. Of course, I would later wake up that day and find out that I'd had my first seizure. Not just any seizure, not just any epileptic seizure, but a status epilepticus seizure. And for those who don't know, it is a medical emergency and can cause permanent brain damage even in one occurrence. And I would go on to have them multiple times a day, almost every day of the week. I was just 11, yet I was ripped away from all I knew. I had to stop school, not just because of the seizures, but because epilepsy is highly misunderstood by the African community, seen as a disgrace to the family at large, and in some decades ago could actually prevent anyone in your family from getting married. My parents feared what could happen if I had a seizure in public, for my own safety. So we searched the whole country for answers. Doctors were blunt. She won't survive 5 more years, and if she does, she won't function as a normal human being. But my dad, being the fighter that he is, did not accept that. So we fought. So many different medications, and I was on the highest doses. Even when I complained to doctors that the side effects were too much, they would say, "Well, it's better than nothing." So I swallowed everything quietly. But what they did not know was another battle had begun. This one did not wreak havoc physically, no. It crept silently in my mind. It crept silently in my mind. Suicidal thoughts, self-harming thoughts, and so on. I won't go into every gory detail, but I will say this. It got really, really dark. Not just because I couldn't take the pain anymore, but because I couldn't bear watching my mom cry every time she'd look at me, afraid I wouldn't be here the next day. My home became a hospital. Everything had to be controlled. What I ate, when I slept, how long I slept, even my emotions could be a trigger. And at the innocent age of 11 years, I felt it all. My family's fear for my life and their exhaustion. But standing here right now, I want to take this opportunity to just say that I am immensely proud of that 11-year-old girl. Because while her family was helping her fight for her body and her physical health, she was fighting for her mind alone. Because yet again, mental health is gravely misunderstood by the African community. If you're depressed, have some sleep. If you're anxious, man up. If you're having suicidal thoughts, stop overreacting. There were moments I almost didn't make it, moments I almost jumped. But in those moments, someone helped me back. And to be honest, I can't ever tell this story fully without mentioning his name. And of course, his name is Jesus Christ. I won't get too preachy, but I would say that even though I got to a point, I said to my dad's face that I do not believe in your God again. I hate him. Even in times where I confessed physically and with my actions, with my rebellion, that I hated Jesus because I felt that he was ignoring me and watching me suffer. Looking back on those times now, I can see that he was really, really working for me, because there is no other way that I can explain this. I'm alive, I'm in college, and I'm speaking coherently to you right now. And these are just few of the things that doctors told me that I wouldn't be able to do by this year. Of course, I did not come out of the whole ordeal unscathed. I still carry scars, physical and mental scars. I was diagnosed with retrograde amnesia, meaning I've lost huge, precious memories of my childhood that I can never get back anymore. High school was a difficult time for me because I was still having issues with my brain health. But after, for once, Jesus told me that you've been doing this alone for way too long, and I gave him the wheel. Everything changed, sorry. I've learned to love, and I've learned to grow. My scars are no more reminders of shame or pain. They're reminders of how much I've fought. They're reminders of how far I've come. They're reminders of the battles that I've conquered and how much I've healed. And as I said before, one of the major things that I've learned from Jesus is love. And I feel called to show this love in a way that allows me to be to others what I needed in my time of need, which is hope. I want to help create a world where people aren't ashamed of certain illnesses, where mental health is taken seriously, but most importantly, I want to help the underprivileged, so they aren't just categorized, overlooked, and ignored. Specifically, the homeless people who are abandoned in Ghana. It's been my dad's dream since he was a child too, and after all he has sacrificed for me, praying to God went on my behalf when I was faithless, fighting doctors who called me a lost cause, leaving his home and touring the whole country for a cure when people said there was none. I want to also do this to honor him as a thank you. And that's why the FFI forms, of course, caught my eyes. I knew FFI was different the moment I started filling out the forms. I started around 1 p.m. in the afternoon and finished around 9 p.m. because the forms were very long, but the questions were deep, personal, and thoughtful. Now that I know even more about this program, I'm even more sure this is my first stepping stone, and this is my biggest sign from God yet. The tools, the skills, the relationships, and the experiences, this is exactly what I need, and it's exactly where I need to be. I'm not here for me. I'm not hiking the highest peak in Northern Ireland for me. I am not plunging first into water bodies for me. I am here to make a better me for the people that God will use to impact in the future. After this program, you will hear from me again. You will hear my name. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will see the impact that God will be making through me in this world. And if anyone ever sees me and asks, why is she so persistent? Why does she want to make an impact in this world? Why is she not giving up? This is why. Because I've lived through pain, I've lived through torture, I've lived through uncertainty, I've lived through hopelessness. And now I get to just live. Thank you.